The Mamiya RZ67 is a 6x7 film format camera with an optional AE prism finder that shoots 10 frames on a 120 roll film and 20 frames on a 220 roll film. Each frame is 6x7 centimeters. The RZ is the most complex of the Mamiya cameras to operate. Therefore, it's a good idea to run through the operation before shooting and exposing a roll of film. First thing you need to do is to check the battery, and this is done by turning the camera on at this small dial here, and you need to make sure that the two white dots are aligned. Then you need to raise the waist level viewfinder, which is done by grabbing the top here, pulling this open, and we can see the ground glass, hopefully there. If you then gently press the shutter button there should be a series of dots that illuminate, two dots that illuminate to show the battery is fine. If it's on continuously, then the battery is well charged. If it's flashing, and in this camera, if there's an audible beep, you need to replace the battery. To lower the waist level viewfinder, simply press in and fold and drop. Loading the film. This is done by opening the back cover, and this can be complex at first, but essentially you need to open up the back cover latches where my thumbs are, pull apart, and the back will pop open. Very similar to the other models, there is a take-up spool here on the left-hand side, and this can be released by pressing the spool stud and releasing. Press the spool stud again and put that in the right-hand side. Take your film of choice, FP4 in this case, and make sure that we remove the film housing. Here we can see the dark slide, which needs to be removed for any exposure, and this is our speed setting control for ISO. Let me just move that out of the way. Okay, so it's really important to know that the film needs to pass around the front of the camera. So we place our film in, remove the stud out the way, and then we need to pass our film all the way around the pressure plate at the front and into our take-up spool through the slot. And then we need to wind the film in to take up the tension. As we do so, we can see that the film start indicator here needs to match up with the small arrow there. Once those are aligned, we can then get our camera going. We can set our ISO. I'm going to set that at 125 there. Place our film holder in the back. This can take a little bit of patience, and carefully close the lid, making sure that the latches are apart. Pop the lid down and place this together. Okay, so the great thing about this 6.7 is that you can shoot in landscape and portrait modes. To do this, the MR lever on the right hand side of the camera, if you move this to the R, you can then rotate your back so you are now here in portrait mode. Obviously align the two dots here for shooting mode, and if I need to return back to landscape mode, carefully rotate and we're back in. The waist level viewfinder has a magnifier to aid the focus. One point of note is that when you focus, the image is reversed left to right, so it may seem a little bit unusual to start. You'll soon get used to it. And when you are shooting, it's important to know two things. First of all, to remove the dark slide, which can be placed safely in the back. And you need to wind on to both advance the film using the film advance crank here, but also to cock the shutter and the mirror. So once this is done, I can use the shutter button at the front of the camera there to take a shot, wind on, and then continue taking a shot. Again, as in the other Mamiya cameras, should I wish to no longer shoot for a period of time, I must remove the dark slide and place this back into the dark slide slot. Finally, once you have finished your exposures, you need to fully wind on the film. This is done by advancing the film crank a number of times until it feels loose, maybe 5 or 6 times. Then you will know that the paper is fully wound around the film to protect it from any further exposure. So, just to reiterate with this camera, the process for shooting is remove the dark slide, wind on, which we've done. Let's do that again. Wind on and shoot. Wind on and shoot. When you've finished, replace the dark slide in the dark slide slot. A full manual is available at wsa.wikidot.com/photography.